How you guys doing? This is Martin. You know me from my series on how to pay off your car loan in 36 months without giving up Starbucks or being cheap. Or you've been watching my series on what you should do when you're like out of work. Today, this is for all you so-called closers. Closers who work for these businesses that interview appointment setters 2 or 3 times. There's no such thing as a perfect lead. If you're the so-called closer, you should be able to take the lead that I give you. At the very least, you should be able to put it into a nurture lead and follow up with them. I have gotten this month I've went through in May I had like 3 interviews where they're like, okay, well, we know you can close, but we sometimes send people on the meetings with the appointment and it doesn't convert. So their so-called closer, I give the lead to, the closer goes out, he can't convert, and then he goes back to the boss and says, hey, these leads are bad. There's no such thing as a bad lead, you idiot. There's 49 million people, 40 million people out of work, God knows how many, millions of college students, thousands of businesses closed. I give you a lead to go do something, and you got the nerve to go back to the boss, hey, these leads are no good. I'm the so-called closer, but these leads are no good. So you know what? We need to be more strict on how we handle these hire our appointment setters. Let me tell you like an example of what you get when you're an appointment setter. 3 hang-ups, people saying they can't understand what you're saying. Take me off your list. Hang-ups. One time I had to call for a carpet company. The guy was cussing me out. I've called for mortgage companies. I've called for martial arts studios. Oh, we've changed our minds, or so-and-so doesn't have a job, or hey, we did it before, but we didn't get what we wanted. All of that just to get one lead. So I'm like, this last month, for example, I went through like 2 interviews because they were upset that they were getting leads, and the leads they were given to their so-called handyman to go out and close, they couldn't close. The goal of the lead is not to close the deal. The goal of the lead is just to create a interest, and then your guy goes out there with his certainty and closes the lead. So the appointment is fine. The problem is with these so-called closers who are in with these so-called managers, which is why you have Sears out of business, Macy's out of business, because nobody knows how to sell. They think the appointments, if they want to do it, give the appointment. Like, for example, I have one real estate company. Okay, we're going to have you get the leads, and this is the contract for you to fill out, and that's it for distressed property. I'm like, what are you doing? They don't want to hear the cuss. They don't want to be cussed out. They don't want to be hung up on. They don't want to hear no. They don't want to hear like, take me off your list. They want to say, they don't know how to handle, oh, we're not interested. We've changed your mind. Now that's all of that's the closer's fault. I'm working with someone, even if you talk to them before, hey, I got this lead for you. Can you go talk to this person? Can you help them out? Can you get it to them? Blah, blah, blah. So it's my fault that they're not interested. It's my fault that they're not calling, that they say you have the wrong one. Oh, you know what, now this is too expensive, and the so-called closers for these companies can't close, but it's the lead appointment's fault. And you wonder why 40 million people are out of work. I mean, I'm going through this one company, I've gone to 2 interviews. Okay, we need you to talk to this guy, and we need you to talk to this guy, and after that's all said and done, come talk to this guy, because we're worried about getting leads, sending people out, and having it not work. So I'm like, what are you talking about? So stop. It's not the lead generator's fault. It's not the lead generator's fault. You just have to close it. You just need more leads. If you had like 100 leads, say 50% of the leads didn't convert, and you send your people out, and like 10 of those leads convert, that's at least 10 sales. So if you got 100 leads from all your lead generators, and only 10% of those worked, that gives you another 90 that if you had any common sense, you will learn how to nurture. Go to Grant Cardone. At least I learned how Grant Cardone to call on the phone, get the person on the phone. I'm going to go back to this one guy who says he wants to do it for 6 months. Book him for 6 months. Then I'm going to go back and ask him, okay, so in 6 months, what do I have to tell you to set that appointment with you that first time? And then once I set that appointment, well, it'll be anything that makes you cancel. So I'm doing more work than this so-called closer. What does this closer do? What, I'm supposed to just put the damn lead on his desk and the guy's supposed to roll over? What is that, a prostitute or something? If you want a prostitute, man, you can't even get a prostitute anymore because of quarantine. Maybe you go to Vegas, or maybe you're going to fly off to Thailand and get you a cross-dresser lady boy. That's your quickest lead to sex if you want to go down that road, man. But no, you got to work for you got to close the lead. These closers are useless. These companies are bizarre. They don't know, just raise this, they don't want to get rejected, they don't want to hear the no, take me off your list, fuck you, someone else has called me, stop calling me, you guys keep calling me about the same thing. I got disappointed, I worked at your company, I got to come off all those rejections, I got to come all hang ups and all that, and I get the appointment. And I send it to the company, and the closer screws it up, and the closer is so useless he can't even follow up on the damn lead to close it. No, it's the closer is useless, and you don't understand the value of having a big volume of leads to work from. All those leads people should be calling, emailing, and following up with, but the companies don't. You know why? Because you stayed small. A lot of your companies got big on the economy the last 2 or 3 years with Trump. Now you're struggling, and you think if you get one appointment, that one appointment that I'm going to give you is going to convert. So your so-called closer, who should be calling on your past leads to get business, can convert it, and he tries to look good and gets his little percentage. No, 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 no. There is no such thing as a good loser. You know what? I'm a civil engineer. Took me 7 years to pass my engineering test. So you know one thing I know how to do? Math. Because those 7 years, I've been like $5,000 or $6,000 to finally pass that test. So when I hear stuff about numbers and conversions and leads, hey, I've done a lot. I've converted hydraulic, steel, soil. Failed soils twice in college just to earn the right to fail another test for 7 years until I actually figured out what I should have learned 7 years before, because I was having too much fun and really hated the class and hated the professor and the book sucked. But what I'm trying to tell you is there is no such thing as a lay down lead. The only thing that saves you is volume. These companies need volume. If you want me to call for you, hey, email me, martching2018@gmail.com. If you're a real company, instead of wasting all your time interviewing, you should just hire the lead generator people, get them in there, find out who's doing the best, put them on a system, see if it'll work. But you need the leads. And even if your lead doesn't convert from your so-called useless closer, at least you'll have them in your system and you can market to them. As an engineer, I know anything about numbers, conversion. Right now, I'm at the Redlands Park, and it's like baseball. Do you have a baseball player who hits they're hitting like 333, 250, 275? Is there any 500 baseball players? That's what a lead is basically. Think of a lead. The pitcher is the customer. The appointment is the lead. And the closer, okay, the lead I gave the customer is the pitcher. I've given the lead to the pitcher, and the pitcher says, okay, call us up. The pitcher throws to the person at the batter. The batter is the so-called closer, and the closer is supposed to connect. If that so-called closer connected at least 10% of the time, you should have break even, and then you should go back in for second sale. But you know why? Half the companies are so small and they're doing such bizarre shit that they don't know what they're doing. They don't want to spend money for this, they don't want to spend money for that, and they think, okay, if we interview a person 3 or 4 times instead of getting 30 to 40 leads that we can just convert, that's going to make our company stay afloat. No, no, no. Just because you don't have the guts, so-called closer, to get on the phone and get the appointment, that's why your company is failing. That's why during this recession, only companies that survived were the big ones. So today was just my rant about these companies saying, oh, we want a good lead. The leads aren't solid. I so hate that. Why don't you go through the hang up? Why don't you go through the do not take me off a list? Go through the we are already working with someone. Go through all that stuff and come back to me when I give you a lead and let me know what you think. And if your closers were any good, they would know how to follow up. They don't even follow up. The leads are no good. He told me I didn't want to do it. Who is this gutless person that's the lead anyway? We don't want, they said they told me they don't want to do it, and I don't know how to follow up. We need to get better lead generators. It's like, you sorry motherfucker. Man, come on, man. Companies, stop. Hurry. Stop. 40 million people out of work. The majority of your companies are so small, they got shut down by the government. Schools got shut down, but liquor stores stayed open. My friend told me the church was closed, but the strip club was open. You know why? Because the strip club got money. They got something a politician wants, sex. You can't have a lot of sex in the church. So today, just let me know. Comment, subscribe, like. Comment, subscribe, like. Let me know what you think. Are you what do you think about a company interviewing people 2 or 3 times? We want to have our other person interview you. If your closers were any good, they would know how to set appointments. If your closers started off as appointment setters and then moved to closers, I could see. They hurt my feelings. My feeling gets hurt all the fucking time. I'm working for commission as appointment setters. Just like we did with the Rise Up appointment setters. It's time for us to go riot against these so-called closers. These closers don't even follow up. And these stupid managers, okay, we'll do what the closer says. That makes no sense at all. So that was just my rant. There'll be a lot more companies closing in the next few months. You know why? Because their so-called closers are losers. Because if they're real closers, they would be getting training, going to a Grant Cardone, a Jordan Belfort, listen to a John Maxwell, even going all the way back to, what is his name? Tom Hopkins, Chet Holmes, at least studying something to improve their skills. But no, we don't, our leads are weak, the leads are no good. Let's just interview our lead generator 4 or 5 times instead of just bringing them aboard to generate a whole bunch of leads. And we can go through and we can follow up. So that's just my rant of the day. Because I was just thinking, because I got a rejection for one. She's like, oh, I want you to talk to someone. I want you to talk to someone. We want you to talk to some. There was some cute dogs. See, there. We want you to talk. So, my rant of the day. The rant of the day is there's no such thing as good leads, closers. Stop being losers and going to your managers and wasting their time at the interview process and start calling on your leads again, closers, to try to generate money for your businesses. So that's the rant for the day from the Silver Engineer.